Greetings, my peeps, and welcome to the All Things Basketball Podcast with your boy GD. In this episode, we will continue the recap of week 17 through 19, which is really a February recap. We'll cover some coaching news. LaMelo and Lonzo Ball out for the season now. We'll talk Dame Lillard. We'll talk about Hall of Fame finalists and also your players, coaches, and rookies for the month of February. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, guys, so we're coming back with the recap, if you will, of week 17 through 19, but I rather say February recap, to be honest. So we covered so far LeBron breaking Kareem's record. We covered the trade deadline stuff. We dealt with that. We dealt with the All-Star weekend as well. And actually, I'm sorry, it's 5 items I got left. So 5 more bits of news we'll cover. So, and then we'll call it an episode. And then I'll announce on the back end what will be taking place going forth. So, anyhow, so let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so a few coaches firing and 2 extensions. So, Nate McMillan out as the Atlanta Hawks coach. He's fired after 59 games in which the team was 29-30, 8th in the East. So, and remember, guys, there was some infighting between Nate McMillan and their star player Trae Young, and I'm sure that didn't help matters. And I think Trae's absence from the All-Star team, I think that spoke volumes, guys, because the coaches, they're like a unit there. They're very much aligned, and when you see a guy mistreating their coach, they're going to line up behind that coach. So I think Trae Young's not being on that All-Star team for Team Giannis really spoke volumes. So with that said, yeah, Nate McMillan is out. Nate McMillan, remember 2 years ago, the man got his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. 2 years ago, they played in that tough series that they had, and it's just crazy how fortunes can change in an instant. So Nate McMillan out. They end up hiring Quinn Snyder, who left the Jazz just about a year ago. After last season, in fact, he leaves the Jazz. He gets involved with the NBA in regards to their efforts and overseas, their overseas initiatives. So he gets involved in that regard, but still close to the game. So Quinn Snyder gets his chance here with a Hawks team that isn't horrible, that's for sure. They have an outstanding backcourt in Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. So you got those guys there. You got a John Collins. You just got to coach him up. You got a young DeAndre Hunter there. Promising young player. Then you got your center there as well, Capella. So, and very good bench as well. So, they're not that far off, guys. They're right among the playing teams right now. Can they climb higher than that? Maybe get a 6th spot? I don't know. Unless the Brooklyn Nets continue to kind of falter now that they have no Kyrie and KD, we'll see how their progress goes. But they certainly can climb up there if Snyder's able to, whip this team into shape. Sure. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, Jacque Vaughn, he gets a contract extension. So Jacque Vaughn is going to be given some grace here with the aftermath of Kyrie and KD being dealt. So he'll get a chance to mold this squad into his image, so to speak. You still got guys like the guys you brought in, Mikal Bridges, a fine player, two-way player. Cameron Johnson, he can light it up, that's for sure. And then you got guys that are here, Cam Thomas, a young promising guard there. You still have in the fold Nick Claxton, a young big who's looking pretty good. You still have your long distance shooters like a Seth Curry, Joe Harris. You still got them, Patty Mills. So you still got those type of guys there. Ben Simmons, I don't know what is going on here, man. Ben Simmons, I mean, I don't think they play him the rest of the year. I think they just say, we'll take a knee, we'll do it with these young guys and see what happens here. But, I think he's done for this year. And quite frankly, I don't know if I could say, has he played his last game as a Brooklyn Net? It'll be hard to get rid of him. That contract's like an albatross, guys. It's a big contract, and for a guy who's fallen off the NBA map. And I was just talking to a buddy of mine, we were talking, and I was trying to recall a player who has fallen off at such a young age where his game totally disintegrated before your eyes. And I've been watching NBA 40 years, and I struggle to find that player. It is incredible what has happened to him. You feel bad for him, but I think all this problems is from the neck up. I do. I think physically, he has the knee issue, the back, and all this. But that's stuff that with the right trainer in your life and the right people around you to get you back to playing condition, I think that's fixable. It's what's in the head that needs fixing. So anyhow, so the Brooklyn Nets reward Jacque Vaughn and give him a contract extension. So kudos to him for that. And then you got Joe Mazzulla, who's given a contract extension with the Boston Celtics, thus making Ime Udoka a free agent as far as coaching goes. So Mazzulla definitely came in there, didn't have to change much. He just continued to let these guys do what they do. So, and he gets rewarded as such. So the pressure's on him in the playoffs, though guys. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. You got to the NBA Finals last season, so you pretty much have to have a encore, if not maybe a crushing Eastern Conference Finals to rectify this. Doing this. So we'll see what happens, but Joe Mazzulla rightfully rewarded for what he's done thus far. So, and it'll be interesting to see in the off season who reaches out to Ime Udoka in that regard. So, and there'll be teams calling, trust me. So All right, so that is the fourth news item. Let's get to the fifth. We're out of balls for the seasons, guys. Lonzo Ball has been ruled out with that knee injury. He hasn't played this season thus far, but the Bulls have pretty much said we're taking a knee on this one. No pun intended. And Lonzo Ball will not play this season, so he'll be given this season and in the off season to get himself right, get himself ready for the 2003-2004 season. So, and then there's his brother, LaMelo Ball, who's been battling knee injuries all season long, suffered yet another one. So the Charlotte Hornets said, you know what? Let's sit him down as well. So you got both Lonzo and LaMelo Ball out for the season, guys. So Charlotte really kind of on the outside looking in as far as playoff aspiration goes. So so the Hornets do the right thing and let him just sit it out and see what you got here and the rest of the guys there. In regards to the Bulls, right now you have Oyo Adusamo. You got newly brought in Chicago native Patrick Beverley now manning the point guard position. So you'll see what happens there with those two guys. And then as far as Charlotte goes, you got a Dennis Smith Jr. that you can plug and play there now. Also Terry Rozier, he can also handle the ball as well. If you get desperate, a Kelly Oubre, he can also handle the ball as well. So you're pretty much good to go in that regard. But both ball players out for the season. And then you have Steph Curry. He's close to a return. In fact, during their upcoming road trip, he's supposed to join them at some point in that regard. And KD, he's soon to be back. In fact, as of this recording, he is officially back. So KD adding to what the Phoenix Suns already have and ready to make that playoff push with those Phoenix Suns there. So that's your fifth news item. The sixth one, Dame Lillard goes for 71 points. He does that in a win over the Houston Rockets. He does that on February 27th. So Dame Lillard, who's, he's having a fine season by his regards. The team, still kind of teetering amongst the somewhere near the play-in and all that sort of stuff. So Dame Lillard, a lot of people attack him in regards to his loyalty to the city of Portland. I'm sure I've talked about it before, but if a guy's comfortable where he is, how can you knock him? He is comfortable where he is. It's not a fact of he doesn't care about winning or not. I'm sure he cares about winning, but he's in a place he doesn't have to uproot. He's been here all his career. If he was unhappy, he would say so. He's not. And they've paid him handsomely paid him, and even more so with the contract extension he received. And he's good to go. So to hear these pundits and all these guys, the Portland organization need to do right by Dame Lillard and send him to a winner. Is that where he wants to go? Is that what he wants to do? I think with all is said and done, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think I think that. Hell, you named the guy a top 75 player of all time. Of course, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, ring or not. So, I just think he gets a bum rap, and is these people clamoring, oh, he needs to go to a bigger market too. The man is comfortable in Portland. He's comfortable where he is. He's beloved there, and that's the way it goes. So, just me sounding off once again. But, Dame Lillard's good. So, if he's good, what can any of us say? But I think his 71-point performance speaks to another issue, though. Let's break it down. He scores the 71, 22 of 38 from the field. He made 13 threes in this game out of 22. He took 22 threes and made 13, and he was perfect from the line. So, and he did this 71 points in a regulation game, whereas Donovan Mitchell, it took overtime for him to get to the 71. And it begs the question, will somebody someday match Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points? I heard this idea being kicked around on the Give and Go show on NBA satellite channel on Sirius XM between Rick Kamler and my man Antonio Daniels. I like listening to those guys, but they kicked around the idea, will somebody match Wilt's 100? I'd say the way this league is going now is, I would have never said it before, but I think it's possible with the just the abundance, if you will, of 3-point shooting that's going on. I think somebody someday will really cook and at least get near that number. I really think that. So it would have to be a guy without a secondary star. It will have to be a guy who's pretty much a solo act, who's just such a dominant force on the team where it's possible. So so I think one day, don't be surprised if you hear so and so player drop 100 points. I didn't used to think that, but I think it's very possible. So we'll see what happens in future. So, all right. So that is the 6th news item. Let's go with the 7th bit of news. Hall of Fame finalists were announced. They were announced during the All-Star weekend. So here are your finalists. As far as the men's go, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, Paul Gasol, and then you have 3 coaches. Let me just deal with the players here. Dwayne Wade, no brainer. He'll get in. Multiple time league champ. He top shooting guard in the league for a long time during his playing days. He got his buddy LeBron to come over, as well as Chris Bosh, to Miami, and they pretty much dominated there. So Dwayne Wade, I think it's a no-brainer. First ballot. Dirk Nowitzki, absolute no-brainer. First ballot Hall of Famer. Stayed with Dallas his entire career. Brought a championship to that city, and a league MVP as well. So Dirk Nowitzki, I think it'd be an absolute crime if he didn't make it on this class of 2023 ballot here. And then Tony Parker, a guy definitely instrumental to the San Antonio Spurs dynasty, point guard. Very efficient point guard for that team, and vital to what they did. So Tony Parker, I have no issues with him being a first ballot Hall of Famer, none whatsoever. Greg Popovich, you got to put him in. You just have to, for what Popovich has done there. You know, a lot of people say, oh, he ain't doing so well without a Tim Duncan there, but you can't take away what the man has done. So Popovich definitely deserves to get in. Paul Gasol of Spain and of NBA, what he's done abroad and in the NBA definitely warrants him getting in as well. So it's going to be a tough ballot, guys. I think all 5 of those guys should get in easily. Then you got college coaches like Gene Keady, longtime Purdue coach, very successful there. You got a Gene Bass, who was actually the all-time winningest college coach in terms of total wins all time on any college level. And he coaches community college, actually, Three Rivers. So he's on the ballot. And then you have a Don Hickson that's on the ballot. 2-time champion D-League coach that's on the ballot as well. So you have those for the men. For the women, Jennifer Aziz of Stanford fame, fine player, one of the 12 among that ladies' dream team of 1996. Very good player. Played in the WBL and then later in the WNBA. Definitely deserve it. Becky Hammon of Colorado State of the WNBA. Split half her career with the New York Liberty, playing there. Then she moved on to the San Antonio Silver Stars. Fine player. Great coach so far in her own right. Her first season with the Las Vegas Aces. Can't say nothing more about that, but this is in terms of her as a player. So Becky Hammon definitely deserves a look to be in there. Gary Blair for Texas A&M. He's on the ballot as well. He's won a national championship. Definitely deserve it. And Marion Washington, another coach, longtime coach of Kansas. She's on the ballot as well. So this is a pretty good ballot. You gotta say that, guys. Still some guys on there you would like to saw get at least a look, but not this year. Maybe next year when the class is kind of weaker. Guys like a Marcus Johnson, who should have been in my estimation. Michael Cooper, maybe he gets back on the ballot again. He's another guy I think deserves some consideration. If they ever get the guts to put Kevin Johnson on a ballot, he deserves to get in. I can go on with others, but yes. So, but this is your finalist class, guys. All right, so that's the 7th bit of news, and then finally we'll go through the players of the month for February, the coach of the month for February, and the rookies of the month for February. So let's start with the players. 2 players, of course, East and West. Nikola Jokic, who's won in January, he wins in February as well, guys. His team goes 9-3. He averaged in the month 22.6 points per game, 14.2 rebounds, 10.2 assists. Guys, he shot at 64.2% from the field and 50% from three. He had 8 triple doubles in that month, so 8 out of 12 games he had a triple double, leaving him to match Wilt Chamberlain as the only 2 centers ever to have as many triple doubles in a month in NBA history. So Jokic making history, guys, and raging towards his 3rd MVP award, it seems. So, and then you have a guy like it. I'll talk about it now. Guy like Kendrick Perkins accusing Jokic of stat padding. Let me say this. Kendrick Perkins, who probably knows more basketball than I'll ever remember, who's been in locker rooms, and I heard this from Antonio Daniels, all players pay attention to their stats. They have to, because that's how you get paid. That's how you get paid. So, and then furthermore, in the games where the Joker has a triple-double, they win the game. So, if I'm Mike Malone, the coach of Denver, I'm saying, man, get that triple-double, because I know I'm going to get a win when all is said and done. So, if you're winning and the man is getting triple-doubles, how can you knock him? And the same thing with Russell Westbrook when he won the MVP award that year. The first time he averaged a triple-double, they were winning a majority of those games, guys. Like 86%, if I'm not mistaken. So, if a guy's getting a triple-double and it's equaling wins, why not he pad the stats? So, this whole notion here of these old heads poo-pooing guys for... I would leave that for Joe Schmo basketball fan to make that accusation. For a person who's actually in the media to put that in the air, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So Jokic, continue doing your thing, man. Especially the team has the best record in their conference. You're gonna accuse the man of stat padding? Let's get serious here. So kudos to the Joker, 2 months in a row, Player of the Month in the Western Conference. In the East, I can proudly say this name, Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. The team went 9-2 for the month. Only second to the Milwaukee Bucks, who went undefeated for the month of February. Jalen Brunson has been a godsend. Oh, man. Oh, how the Knicks have desperately needed a point guard like this. The man has delivered in spades, guys. This is what he did for the month of February. Oh, by the way, he didn't make the All-Star team, so this just added more fuel to the fire for him being worthy of that. 27.3 points per game, 6 assists, 4.3 rebounds. The man shot nearly 53% from the field. For a guard, very good. 42.6% from 3. Jalen Brunson, man, what he's done for this Knicks squad. He has taken the burden off of Julius Randle so Julius can do what he do. He has made things easy for guys like R.J. Barrett, for Mitchell Robinson, for Quentin Grimes. You just brought in his former teammate from Villanova, so Josh Hart. So he's really at ease now. So, and he, you know what it is? He's a guy who gets it. He gets what he's doing, where he's at. Just the other day, he was in the press conference with a Patrick Kane jersey. The New York Rangers just traded for him. So, being that, he rooted for the Blackhawks when he was in Chicago. So, growing up. So, he gets, New York. Not many guys come here gets New York. He knows. I can, endure myself with this city even more so coming into that press conference with this man's jersey on. And, they've actually talked now since Patrick Kane has come to town. He understands where he is. So, the Knicks are moving in the right direction when it comes to playoffs. They're right now in that 5th spot. They're breathing down the necks of the Cleveland Cavaliers and could be locked and loaded for a playoff series against them. It'd be nice if Knicks had the home field, but that's okay. And then let me say this to fake fan Stephen A. Smith. He's a fake fan. I'm sorry, guys. I can't hold it in any longer. He's a guy on First Take, Monica McNutt, bless her heart. She had to educate him about what the Knicks are doing and the direction they're going, and about this false notion of this Donovan Mitchell deal where, he made it seem like, we kept R.J. Barrett and Quentin Grimes. That was the only pieces that were going in that deal. No, Danny Ainge wanted more than that. So, and you would have depleted your bench and everything else to bring him here. And the Knicks didn't feel comfortable doing that. And look at the results they're having right now. If they have the depth they have today, they wouldn't have the record they have today. I can openly admit that. So, yeah, and then J.J. Redick, he even add more fuel to the flame in terms of calling him out. But he needs to stop it. Either you're going to be on board. I don't mean be a blind fan. Be critical when it's time to be critical, of course. But recognize that the culture is different. At least recognize that. And I'll come back when Dolan sells the team. He ain't selling the team. Forget about it. He's not selling. So just embrace what they have right now. Leon Rose got the team going in the right direction. And let's call it a day. Let's call it a day, guys. So Stephen A., either you're on board or you're not on board. Brooklyn will take you, as much as you was rooting for Brooklyn the past few years with KD and Kyrie over there. So they'll take you. But if you're going to ride with the Knicks, ride with the Knicks. Max Keller's another guy. Now he's singing the praises of the Knicks, trying to sneak his way back in. No. Stay rooting for the Lakers or whatever you're doing, Max. We good. So, yeah. So all these people now, and then everybody's speaking plauditudes about the Knicks now. So we'll see what happens. But I love what I see from this team. And again, I'm proud to say Jalen Brunson, Player of the Month for the Eastern Conference in February. So, that was a rant there. Okay, let's continue on. Coach of the Month, you have Mike Brown of the Sacramento Kings. His team went 8-4 for the month of February. His team was the highest scoring team in the league with 125.8 points. They were second in field goal percentage with 51.6%. So Mike Brown can coach. The man can coach. He always could coach. It was just a matter of opportunity. So he's really got the Sacramento Kings playing well. And I tell you what, guys, they're young, but they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be a cakewalk for anybody. So Mike Brown got this team playing right. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, all the pieces around them. Keegan Murray, he's starting to blossom as a rookie. So this team, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem in the playoffs, I feel. So kudos to Mike Brown, Coach of the Month for February in the West. In the East, I kind of alluded to it already. Mike Budenholzer of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks went 10-0 for the month of February. Went undefeated for the month. And remember this. They did so with Giannis get injured twice and playing like a handful of minutes in each of those games. So, yeah. So, Mike Budenholzer really coaching up that Milwaukee team. And now they're breathing down. They're like neck and neck pretty much with the Boston Celtics. So, Milwaukee Bucks getting hot at the right time, guys. Getting hot at the right time. So, yeah. So, Mike Budenholzer definitely doing his thing in that regard. So Mike Budenholzer, coach of the month in the Eastern Conference. Now, your rookies of the month. Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz. He got his opportunity when Kelly Olynyk was banged up. So he's now in the starting lineup now. 10.6 points. But get this. 11.4 rebounds. 3.2 blocks. Which ranks second in the month of February. So Walker Kessler getting it done, man. Rookie sensation for Utah. Just a matter of time that he's making a name for himself. So he's done that. So kudos to him for being rookie of the month in the Western Conference. And of course in the East, Paolo Banchero, who pretty much has the award pretty much wrapped up for the Orlando Magic. 16.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.3 assists for him. So guys, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this recap. Guys, I'm going to take a bit of a hiatus, a short one. Got some things to attend to, but I will be back in probably a few weeks. So, just got some things I got to deal with. So, but when I come back, we're charging towards the playoffs, guys. We got about a month or so left of NBA regular season basketball, and then we got playoffs. So, definitely exciting time of the year. Also, we got March Madness. That's happening. So, we'll take a little glimpse over there and see what's happening in that regard. So, exciting times, guys. Exciting times in the world of basketball. And then, of course, a few months down the pike, you got the WNBA happening. So, and that looks to be an exciting season there. So, all right, guys. So, I'm going to cut it off here. Again, I thank you as always for listening. Please write a review. All Things Basketball with GD.com. You can leave one there. On Apple, you can leave a review on that platform. Also, my YouTube channel, All Things Basketball GD. You can go there and you can definitely like the video. And, of course, make your comments as well. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it. We will talk in a few weeks. So, all right, so be safe out there. And, of course, stay listening. Take care. So, my peeps, if you like what you're listening to, you can go to my website, www.allthingsbasketballwithgd.com. You can also email me at thatsportsdudegd@gmail.com. To support this podcast, you can go to my PayPal, and that email is thatsportsdudegd@gmail.com. Also on my Anchor page, I have a support button there that you can also use to help the podcast. I'm on all the major platforms like Anchor, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon, SoundCloud, YouTube, Castbox, Radio Public, Podchaser, just to name a few. And also you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, clubhouse and fan base. So once again, I thank you for listening and supporting this podcast, and take care and be safe.